Okay, let's see here.
And then, the people have been told. They are aware. For good or ill, we are in.
Okay, hold on just 1 second. Oh, titties, man.
Right.
I had that tweet all prepped up, and then I fucking I just deleted it. It's like, oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good one.
It's like, cheers Twitter for working out a system whereby you can tell me about tweets that I never wanted to know, but you can't help me pull back that cracking one-liner that I accidentally dismissed. Like, there's a feature that Twitter could go for, something that allows me to be instantly more funny than I really am. Like, that's where we need that money spent.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, man, hold on.
Hey, my lot have started popping up. So, compliment cap, Rogue Link. What ho, friendos? How goes it?
All right, so I can tweet that now?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Doing a quick interview with a dude I never met before, but he seems nice enough. Apologies in advance because I suck shit at interviews. That sounds good.
Nailed it. I mean, technically we met for like 10 minutes at like a PAX at like 2 in the morning.
That's true. Well, that makes me wrong then. But anywho.
Don't you know, you can't be wrong on the internet. It's actually impossible.
Ah, yes. That's a good point.
So, I'm just waiting for everybody to filter in. I'm still gutted I never got to get you on one of the game projects I was working on. Like, that's something that has annoyed me as a career thing for a while.
Well, you know, that shit happens. That shit'll keep happening for the rest of your fucking life, dude.
Yeah, I hear that. So, yeah, I'm probably gonna say this like 8 or 9 times, but dude, like, thank you for coming on for this. This has been because you would have been well within your rights to be like, I haven't heard from you in fucking years, and it didn't happen. So, hello. Oh, so yeah. As everyone slowly filters in, and I'll probably reintroduce you multiple times, it is my pleasure to bring you all Will Stamper, otherwise known as Stamper.
Yeah, it's my last name. Everyone's like, why the fuck people call you Stampers? Like, it's my fucking last name, dude.
Caffeine.
It's like the laziest fucking username ever.
I don't know. Like, I've seen some crackers. I am thankful for a username that I can pronounce first pass.
There you go.
Like, and this is not a diss on them, but I've had some lovely individuals who come into Twitch chat with like phonetic spellings of like Japanese characters, and I'm like, please give my dyslexic ass a break here.
Nah, I hear you.
So yeah, while we're waiting for everyone to filter in, so just so you all know the premise of what we're framing here today. Over here on our teeny tiny little longship of miscreants, we talk a lot about video games, and we talk a lot about like how video games are made, and you know what brings them to market. And we keep talking about Newgrounds, like as you said in the kind of the preamble, like the Wild West of like internet culture, like a frontier town of like games and animation from that wonderful golden summer where Flash was just letting people make games in like a couple weeks and then just immediately put them online.
Well, I'll do my best on that one. I haven't worked for Newgrounds in fucking years. I'm still close with the guys, though. Shit, I just talked to Jeff the other day, and Tom, too.
Way cool.
Great guys. Great guys.
Man, I've never had the chance to meet Tom. I've always tried to keep like a hawk eye out for him at like a PAX or something, but I've not met him.
Yeah, he's kind of random on his convention showing ups. He's like a fucking leprechaun and shit like that. But every now and again, he'll swing by something. He's a really nice guy. Great guy. He's like one of those dudes where you talk to him online, and then when you meet him in person, it's like what you see is what you get. Like, there's no surprises. You're like, oh yeah, that's fucking Tom.
Oh, that's way cool.
Like, yeah, it's like there's not, you know, like how sometimes you meet somebody you've been talking to online for a long time. It's like, this dude is a fucking psycho. I don't want to talk to this motherfucker for any more than 30 seconds.
Oh, dude, that stuff is always so scary when you meet someone in the real at a convention and you're like, oh dear lord, you're terrifying.
Yeah, because it's like all that text you've been reading over the years. It's like it's misleading to you. You're like, oh, that's what he meant. He really meant that he wanted to kill somebody.
Okay.
He really meant that. Okay.
I'm just gonna go over here now.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, the thing that's been really interesting is game industry at the moment. Like Valve have gotten rid of pretty much all the barriers to entry. Like getting a game on
Which one's
Steam.
Valve again? That's the Half-Life and shit.
Yeah.
I get all the shit scrambled up.
But they're, I want to say last year, they removed the requirement for getting a game on Steam. So you don't have to know anybody there, and you don't have to like get voted. You just give them $100, and you can put your game. Thing is,
so is it kind of like is it kind of like that Xbox thing they did back in the day, where like independent developers could just dump shit all over 360 all the time, and they're always like worthless games that they charge people money for. It sounds fucked up for me to say that, but a lot of them were fucking worthless. Like after Castle Crashers came out, somebody put out a game called Cattle Crashers that had cows in it. Like, this is just fucking dumb. Like who's the gatekeeper here?
Do you know what's bad? I hate that I want to play that game.
We did play it for a while. I'm not gonna fucking lie.
Yeah, so it's very similar to that, and it's a complete cluster. So what I wanted to do is, because we've referenced Newgrounds, because we've talked about it so much, I wanted to go back in time with you, talk a lot about kind of like what it was like during the halcyon days, and also, you know, see if we can glean some lessons that we can bring forward to the future. And along the way, we're probably going to ask you a whole bunch about fucking Hatty Hattington and all of that, because yo. You are still responsible for one of the greatest trailers of all time.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
For those of you that haven't seen the Steam trailer for Battleblock Theater, you need that in your life. You need that.
And you know what? The funny thing is, I just panicked. They're like, we need a Steam trailer. I was like, here! I just like wadded it up into a ball and just threw it there and just hoped that it fucking landed. But there you go.
Oh.
But you know, it's a trailer, so like, who cares? You know, who cares what it is? The games are supposed to be entertaining, man. It's like, just, you don't have to be all serious and shit all the time. Just be a goofball. Everyone playing the game is a fucking goofball anyways, right?
I mean, all my lot have seen me a million times. They know I'm a complete fucking numpty, so yeah.
All right, so
let's kick into this for real.
Good questions, because I can't make shit off the top of my head just like magically appear. I'm really bad at doing that.
Oh, dude, I got questions for days, but I feel
okay, cool.
I feel like we've got everyone's filtered in. We got 50 people chilling and kneeling here, which is cracking. So good. Once again, I'd like to introduce you all to Will Stamper. You may know him from his work with the Behemoth, or the Behemoth. I always pronounce it wrong because I double guess myself.
Yeah, the Behemoth.
But before that, you did a lot of stuff on Newgrounds, which is going to be the bulk of what we're talking about today.
Sounds good.
So let's start at the beginning. When did you get involved with Newgrounds, the community? If you can cast your mind.
Oh, when I was a baby boy, I think I was like 15 or 16, and I started. Yeah, I've told this story a couple of times. I don't know, where I did it, because it's a huge part of my life, but. Yeah, I was just a kid, man. And the internet was kind of, I wouldn't say starting, but like visual media was starting in a sense, where people were getting better at web design and animated GIFs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing people making animated GIFs that had sound in it and voices. And it turns out that was Flash. And I was like, oh shit, you can make like little jokes and stuff with visual accompaniments and stuff like that. And that's when I started getting into it. I started seeing other guys doing it. And and then from that point to now, it's all a fucking blur. I don't remember any of it, man. No, around, I would say around 2003 because I was into web design before that, and I was like designing websites for a living.
Okay.
And then I was always a fan of Newgrounds, so I contacted Tom directly, and I was like, "Hey, check it out! I did a mock-up for a redesign of Newgrounds. How do you think this looks?" And he was like, "Oh, that's awesome. Would you like to move up to Philadelphia?" I was like, "Oh shit, okay, that's interesting." And then I was responsible for the design for, I think, like 3 or 4 iterations until I think they just changed it just recently to make it a little more streamlined, which is probably a good idea. The last one was a little too bulky, like visually bulky. But we were happy with it, man. I like the way it looked. It was different because everyone was going to that, like that Web 2.0 mindset where they're like, it's all about the content. It doesn't matter what your website looks like. It's like, yes, it does matter what your website looks like because people don't trust you when your website looks like shit. So, yeah, and then, it stayed there for, what year is it? 2018? Man,
Yeah.
It's been well over 10 years now.
Time travel will do that to you, man.
Yeah, shit happens.
As an English person, I'm partially a Time Lord, so obviously, time is a relative construct.
Are you English? Where are you from?
I grew up near the south coast. I don't know how well you know the UK.
Wait, hold on. Down by Kent?
No, more Sussex, West Sussex way.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think I know where that is.
Yeah, I spent more time in London than anywhere else, though, so that's where I moved up to there first chance I got. But yeah, so it's interesting you mentioned about the website layout because, all right, now those that know me, I have over 1,000 games on Steam, which I personally have purchased most of.
God damn, son! What the fuck?
I gave up sleep a few years ago. It freed up my schedule.
What were you hiding from in life?
Usual emotional crippling, blah blah blah. Dude, you can't.
Oh, I hear you. That's why I have about 1,000 PS3 games.
Yeah, and unfortunately, drinking in London is very expensive, so it does limit that as a solution.
Is it really?
Yeah, drinking in London is real expensive. As is New Zealand.
Just for like lager and shit like that?
Yeah, but they just make it's just super expensive. Anyway, so I really enjoy. Well, I how to phrase this one politely. I've been using Steam for a long time, and I like it as a place where I play my games. But the layout and functionality of it is a hot pile of garbage.
They need a fucking update big time. That interface is something straight out of fucking 1997, man. That shit is fucking sad.
I know. And this was something that Newgrounds solved 10 years ago. I mean, shit like the Daily First Prize, a system whereby like popularity can boost something up within a sphere that carries. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. And you know what the sad part is that I always thought about was back when I was designing stuff in like my early days.
Yeah.
I didn't care about money. I didn't want to get paid. So there's like 100 people you can contact right now that would redesign Steam for free now and be like, this is what it should look like. And it would look fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the hell they're doing. I think it's like that eBay thing. You remember like when eBay, like, it still looks like fucking eBay and it's like this really shit layout. And then they tried to change it. And then the world like rose up and they were like, no, fuck that. Because there's a bunch of old fat house moms and stuff that used to sell like vintage license plates and stuff. And they're like, I don't understand how anything works anymore. But they cleaned it up really well. But then they completely reverted because of that.
Yeah.
So like maybe that's something like they don't want to cripple sales or something by changing the interface. I don't know.
It could be. I mean, the marketing wanker in me says that because of Valve's whole flat structure thing, no one wants to be the person who stands up and says, our platform functions horribly and looks awful. Let's change the whole darn thing.
Yeah, get your ass fired, right?
Yeah, because flat structure also means the court of popular opinion. So if you stand up and tell everyone, oi, what we do is shit, you are going to be out in your ass. And
then you got those other bitches that completely agree with you, but they won't open their mouths either.
No, they'll let you go into the fire, because... I mean, I don't have any strong opinions on flat structure organizations. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So, just quickly jumping into chat. What's how everyone? It's lovely to see you all. See, Dello is saying that websites suck if all they've got is a GIF with the under construction guy. I'd say that is a lie. So that is a lie.
Wait, what was that one again?
Just some guy making the joke about the old like workman GIF from back in.
Motherfucker, those still exist though. People still use those.
There's a resurgence. They're coming back. I'm calling it now. So you got brought on board for Newgrounds for their redesign. So
yeah, but also I was making like cartoons and shit before that, so I just figured Tom was like, oh, he could be useful in other ways too, and we worked really well together. I mean, me and Tom made a couple games together. Like for example, what did we do? We did that fun Kevin Federline game, and we did shit like when nobody was on. And that was one of the big turning points in my life. When nobody was on the audio for Castle Crashers, I jumped in and I did all the sound effects.
Oh, wow.
And a fair amount of the music. Because at the same time, the Behemoth was still kind of starting too. So like we didn't really know how to, or they didn't really know how to, we weren't like a beast yet where we could just be like, oh, there's audio guys everywhere. Like it's more like there's a dude here that knows how to do audio and he's not fucking designing websites. So
that's way cool.
Then you did that, and then moved on and did some other stuff too. I forgot the question already. I started like fading back into the past.
That's where we're living this. Also, I want to say Mark Ulfric has requested that I inform that you are in fact a handsome man. So
who? Mark who?
Mark Ulfric. I have no idea.
He's a handsome man too.
There you go. It's been confirmed. Mark and Stamper, handsome men. So
now I'm all bashful.
So I'm trying to.
It's not that hard, man. Check it out. Hey, what'd you eat for breakfast?
Big old bowl of pasta. I just went from naught to full on.
Dude, I love pasta for breakfast too, man. That shit is great.
Coffee.
It gives you like perfect energy.
Well, I'm here. Newgrounds was the free-for-all of content and style, and I think that's another one that I'd love to talk to you about, because this week Steam basically fubbed a whole mess with visual novels. So they sent a bunch of like remove your game because it's got pornographic content, or else we're going to take it away from you. And then, like, a day later, they sent another email.
Yeah, but wait, hold on. What is pornographic content? You mean offensive content or pornographic content?
Oh, no. So it's Steam. So by their standard, pornographic is usually boobs out and suggestive. The issue is weirder because people were trying to circumvent the certification process by releasing a game on Steam with no porn content, but then allowing users to download a patch which enabled, like, just some closer to the old, like, over 18 flash game type stuff.
Well, in fairness, that's kind of smart.
Oh,
I gotta give it
Lord.
to him.
I just said flash pornographic content and Shad's just shown up in chat. So, rest in pepperoni, my day.
Oh, that's my boy right there. I love Shad.
Oh...
He's one of my best friends.
Oh dear Lord.
But anyways, what are you saying?
So it wasn't that it wasn't an opinion either way on the kinds of content, but what's fascinating is that, again, Newgrounds, 10 years ago, there was an over 18s area. It was gated. And it was clear as to what the kinds of content that you were going to be experiencing. Everything
over 18, my ass.
But Valve has been, again, flip-flopping between, like, yes, you can have this, no, you can't have this. Kind of a left-hand, right-hand setup.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess from someone who worked on Newgrounds as a site, as Newgrounds as a platform, like, how did you tackle that? Because at least towards the end of your tenure, there must have been some challenges with kind of keeping that content separated from the rest.
Yeah, but at the same time, I remember it being pretty vocal around the whole office with everybody that it should never be banned. It should be available, but it should never be banned. So we did kind of set up those little gates for a little bit, just in case people wanted to see it. Because I mean, even pornographic art, it could be fucking amazing sometimes and really inspirational.
Yeah.
I mean, so who the fuck are you to say that it doesn't belong on a site that encourages everything by everyone? It's the fucking motto, for God's sake. You know, so if that's like what you're really good at, I mean, I don't know. I don't really. What's your opinion on the whole thing?
So me personally,
I myself just did whatever the fuck I wanted to do. I just got in a lot of trouble. Never with the company, really. Just like in trouble generally that might have affected the company inadvertently with the dumb shit I was doing. But at the same time, it's all harmless.
Well, I mean, my opinion on Steam is that they're not taking a stance and they're not taking a line. So they're leaving everybody's kind of ass in the wind. So
companies tend to do that when they're confused and scared.
Yeah. I mean, so there's a great visual novel called Lady Killer in a Bind, which is...
What the hell are visual novels? Why do you keep saying that?
It's how they tend to self-classify. So there's no main gameplay element. It's mostly just like narrative, story, and multiple choice kind of like choose your path through.
I understand exactly what you're saying. All right, then.
Yeah.
Please continue.
So it's that kind of content, and it is based around... Well, it's based around like bondage culture, kink culture. It's a bloke pretending to be a lass who ends up falling for someone who's like a super dom, and it does a lot of really interesting stuff. It says a lot of interesting stuff.
Right, that's hot.
Yeah, and have you tried Doki Doki Literature Club yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, there's a cracker for you. I'm not going to spoil it, but you're going to see a lot of jest monikers pop up in chat. Like, I don't want to alarm. So, because there's no clear lines, people making this kind of content don't know what is and isn't allowed to be on Steam. And Steam has no decent system for gating off this kind of content. So, right. The whole, like, the whole think of the children angle, the only reason that it is problematic, in my personal opinion, on the Steam platform is that there's no clear presentation of what is and isn't, and their messaging to people is completely confusing. Newgrounds, everything
Steam?
by everyone.
Steam's messaging to people is confusing, or the creators?
Definitely the Steam messaging, because there was a scandal last year. Jesus, what am I talking about? I do apologise.
Sorry, I get lost easily. I'm always thinking about other shit at the same time. Like right now, it's like I need to go buy pork chops, and I'm still trying to listen to what you. All right, but anyways, I just want some damn pork chops, man.
Oh, dude, now I'm hungry. So it was like I was saying, there were games that were not games that didn't list themselves as having porn content in them. That would allow a patch that you could download. So you'd buy it for like $4 or $5, and then download the free patch, and suddenly you've got boobs and shagging. My buddy Tenwin just donated $1, just saying, "Have you heard of Honey Pop? That's the one in big risk of being removed." Honey Pop's a match color game with anime lasses with their boobs out.
Well, I don't know about you, man, but I was looking at titties since I was like 9, and I was enjoying every moment of it. And you know what? I still do.
It's a part of the human condition, yo.
I guess so.
Okay, so I guess moving back to the questions rather than...
Yeah, it's probably a good idea because I'm fucking lost.
Well, yeah, and I'm waffling on in... Because I could rant about Steam for like 20 minutes, and... So...
Well, yeah, it's great, but it's a piece of shit at the same time.
Yeah. So back on the classic era kind of Newgrounds. So how did... Like, concepts like the Daily First Prize, concepts like community spotlights and stuff like that, how did those come about, those concepts?
How do you mean?
Well, so both the functionality behind the scenes and also like the idea of like, let's pick something every week and promote it. Was that something that just grew out of the forums as a culture, or was that something that you and Tom and people sat down and went, right, we're going to start promoting?
You mean in terms of featured things?
Yeah.
That was more, I think that was like a two-parter. That was more like one, there was a lot of internal hostility in a sense where we did feel like a lot of really great artists weren't getting all the respect they wanted. Not wanted, but needed. Even if they were making you know, a lot of quote unquote raunchy stuff, they were still talented.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. It's like it doesn't matter what they made yesterday because the future is bright. And the other one was already slipped my mind. It'll come to me though. Keep talking.
it's my one true gift is the Wafflemancy, because again, I'm going to bully Steam for just a second more, which is that their whole thing.
By all means, please. It's not like I'm fucking go for it.
They believe that they can kind of solve a lot of these problems with algorithms, and we're kind of seeing that's not the case. The one thing that Newgrounds did so brilliantly, and I want to put this one at the content features, at the daily first prize type stuff, is when something brilliant, when something original popped up, boof, it was there.
Yeah.
I remember playing this one which was, it was an escape room game before escape rooms, but it was basically a reworking of The Mist. Like, people getting killed horribly, there's monsters, you're locked in like a gas station, and you've got to break out, and it was fucking amazing.
Oh, people do fucking genius shit sometimes, man.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have known about that without it being upvoted by the community within Newgrounds. Because
without even being hired. And here's the thing, too.
Yeah.
Back in the day, most of the people did that for nothing. They did it because they wanted to do it. Zero money, zero anything. Like, I don't even know if Newgrounds offers people money now. They might. I don't fucking know. But people were just doing things because they wanted to do something. They wanted to see something. They wanted to show somebody something.
Yeah.
It wasn't as much as a business as it is today, which was interesting. And that's why you'll find a lot of the more interesting back then. Because it's all passable. Even if you don't like it, you can just kind of skip forward and look at the next thing. Whatever. Yeah. But then sometimes things just come out as like the Daily Choice award for a game that some kid made in his bedroom when he was fucking 11. And it was like the most amazing shit you've ever played. Yeah, because his perspective is completely different. Like, he did all the art and all the programming and all that. He's like, I'd play a game like this. It's like, yeah, that's the kind of perspective that we need, man. But we don't have much more any day. Or nowadays, rather.
Yeah. And what I'm really hoping is that like itch.io and stuff like that consider making something around a larger platform, so that, I mean, I've seen some crazy fucking games coming out of there that have been doing interesting stuff that really reminds me of that single person passion we saw a lot from the classic days.
Yeah.
But I mean, so we talk a lot about like game design theory and all of that bollocks over here, which I love. Like, I fucking love going into the ideas of why people create the things that they do. And
right.
Again, we keep referencing these old concepts a la Newgrounds, because the speed of making something in Flash was so quick comparable.
That's true.
And so did you do any games in Flash, or did you just do animations? Because it struck me that I hadn't asked.
I never programmed anything. No, I don't think so. Maybe like basic things, but that's in terms of all the programming I know is basically archaic by these days. It's all HTML that people don't use anymore, and JavaScript and shit like that, because I started with all that web design shit, like I said earlier. And then CSS and all that. So I got you on that one, but Ajax. But yeah, in terms of games now, I always just worked with people. And see, that's the other thing too, is that you take all these people that are individually passionate about making a game, and then other people that are individually passionate about making art for a game, and then you lock them together, and that's when you get some real fucking gems.
Yeah.
Especially when they can get along well. And it's like, oh, I know this audio guy too. So then it all comes together and it's perfect. And then the more you roll along, the more people you meet. Like I would say that, Jesus, like 90% of the people, like my own friends and the people I know in my life, I met off Newgrounds. Probably a good 90%.
Yeah.
That I still talk to today. And I hit them up every now and again for like, hey, could you do this voice acting thing for this game that's completely unrelated to everything? And it's like, yeah, I got fucking 20 minutes on Sunday and stuff like that. So that was nice in a sense too, where you just kind of built like some lifelong friends there as well. Talented people. And it's humbling to be around talented people like that all the time. Sometimes it's fucking scary. It's like, man, I need to step my game up because this motherfucker is advancing like nobody's business.
Yeah. Someone mentioned in a stream the other day that basically the core named characters that came out of Newgrounds were basically the closest that we've had in gaming to like classic era SNL, because I mean they're all picking very different
Oh man,
parts.
that new SNL is fucking garbage, man. How many more fucking Trump jokes do I need to hear, man? That shit is stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to devolve things onto the great orange potato.
Boo!
Yeah.
Boo!
But what was really interesting is, so like, you know, yourself moving into the behemoth, then I mean Aaron was moving more into YouTube and animation stuff over there, like pre-Game Grumps, seeing his trajectory go off in that direction. And then there was like Rubber Ross, Oni, all of those crew all kind of spreading out. Who was the bloke who did the art for feckin' Toss the Turtle?
I know who you're talking about. His name was...
Yeah.
On the tip of my tongue. I know exactly who you're talking about, though.
Yeah, and his art style was like one of the core ones of like the Newgrounds aesthetic. That kind of like beefy, chunky dude.
He had like 98 levels of shading and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Man, okay.
Oh, Gonzum.
Yeah, Gonzum. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Gon's awesome, I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah, he was good too.
And yeah, it's kind of the closest that we've had to that, like, you know, that core SNL crew, just minus the John Belushi having too much cocaine. Rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah, well, who hasn't?
Dude, I worked in film and telly for like 3 years, so...
What'd you work on?
I was post-production, so I was in proximity to a lot of stuff. The only stuff I think people might know that I was around was Man on a Wire and... Oh, what was the other one?
Was that movie with Denzel Washington? No, that's Man on Fire. No.
Yeah. This is the documentary about the bloke who walked across the
he
Twin
walked
Towers.
across the buildings, right? Yeah.
They got Joseph Gordon-Levitt to play him in a movie later. But yeah. So let's talk about the transition. So moving from just working on Newgrounds to working with the Behemoth, like... How was that? I mean, the speed at which things could be made in Flash versus making a game that goes up as a whole product. Like, how was that transition for you, dude?
Well, there was a lot of milestones. There's some rocky roads there in a sense where you make a game in Flash and then you have to port it to a platform that isn't necessarily familiar with Flash. Like, you can't just put a Flash game on PlayStation and call it a day. I mean, that's like a whole team behind that. Excuse me. I got this indigestion. I'll be fine though.
It's all good. It's all good. Don't you fucking dial me on stream, dude.
But now, when I first moved up to Philadelphia after Tom invited me up, I was living with Dan Paladin. He was my roommate.
Dan Paladin. That name rings a massive bell.
Yeah, he did all the art for all the Behemoth games, dude.
Oh, fuck, yes.
Yeah. But then, they, behind the scenes, like, him and Tom could bang through a fucking full console game in, I want to say, like, a matter of weeks. Because Dan is, like, a super fast artist, and Tom was just like, bang. But then there's all, like, the shit behind the scenes that you have to worry about, like, again, like the porting. And it's like, oh, we're going to put this on GameCube and PlayStation and this. Well, that's going to be fucking fun. And then you have to deal with all the legal shit and then all the other, like the, getting
certified.
There's that. But then there's, not a producer, but a publisher. Like, all the publisher shit, that could be a fucking nightmare, man.
Yeah, dude.
Like, all that stuff, it's almost like more of the legal stuff than the creative stuff, which is fucking infuriating. But
well, I mean,
it was fairly easy to slide into that process and just start working with the guys because I'm just running in there and just carrying the burden with them. And it was new to me too. I was like, oh fuck, man, it's just hard to put out a game. We're just trying to entertain people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, how come every time I put out a video on YouTube, you get banned 19,000 times? I'm just trying to entertain people. Any fucking idiot can see that.
Well, it's weird you mentioned that because Robert was.
Hey,
asking...
what's up, Tommy? That's Tommyism right there. He made Super Meat Boy. A lot of people know that.
What? I have met that guy, and I've been awkward levels of fanboy around him. So yo, this is what I look like when I'm not being awkward and shit.
Let me go take a nap and shit. He probably has way more to say to me.
Hey, if I could get Tom to talk about surviving the trials and tribulations on Meat Boy, that would be a story. But today is you and me, Stamper. Today is you and me. And it was interesting what you were saying on on YouTube bans, because Robert was asking if about your approach to Twitter and your many bans from the platform.
Hey, I've only been banned like 3 times. I'm still there, aren't I mean, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, here's something interesting, right? Everybody walks around, they got like 500,000. I swear to God, 65% of those people aren't even fucking active anymore. It's almost a favor to get banned because the people who care about you refollow you and then get banned again. Then the people who really care about you follow you again.
Yeah, dude,
Otherwise, there's a lot of fucking ghosts. There's a lot of like take for example, you go on YouTube, you post a video.
Yeah.
And you say, follow me on Twitter. And these people, they don't use Twitter. So they're like, oh, I'm going to go follow this guy on Twitter. They go to Twitter and they go, oh, well, this isn't really my thing. But it's stacking your numbers up like this for people who don't even use the fucking platform. But I talk to like, there's a bunch of dudes in this room. I talk to like Captain Key. I talk to him like every day. And I met him on Twitter. I mean, like, that's valuable.
Way cool. Way cool. I mean, yeah.
And I've known Tommy since, I mean, we were talking about the old days in Newgrounds. Shit, I think I've known Tommy since the day before I could fucking drive. I've known him since I was a baby.
Damn.
That's how we like started connecting up.
Because
it's a small world, dude.
I mean, am I going crazy? Was Meat Boy?
We were scissoring, by the way.
Yeah, I assumed, or at very least, kind of just like bumping butts. At very least. I mean, am I going crazy? Meat Boy got a flash release on Newgrounds as an early version, right? Before it moved over to doing the whole Indie Game the Movie Xbox Live feature, if I remember correctly. Or am I going nuts?
I couldn't fucking tell you, man. I want to say... No, I was about to say that it was a prototype, but I think it was a full game on Newgrounds, and people were going apeshit for it. And then it was like, oh, let's make this a fuller game.
Yeah, Tommy's confirmed.
That's my assumption.
Yeah.
Go. Piece of cake.
I will also say that in my mind, Dello is essentially David Attenborough in chat. So I'm reading all your comments in David Attenborough's. They were saying, they were once joined at the dick, you could say.
Well, maybe so.
Maybe so. We can't confirm this. Tom's like, less me, more Stamper. It was interesting what you were saying about the challenges of like the business side of making a video game, because
challenges is a fucking understatement, man. It's like, it is so fucking crippling sometimes. Like, I can guarantee you that so many people just got so disheartened they just gave up on their fucking games. I know there's a lot of assholes out there that do like fucking Kickstarter projects and shit for the obvious reasons of taking advantage of people, but there's legitimately some people out there that try to start games and the legal side of shit just gets so fucking rough. They're like, maybe later, man. Maybe later.
What got you and the Behemoth through that? What dragged you all through that?
Fucking money. Castle Crashers being a success, man. You got to come out the gate and just do something phenomenal. But it doesn't matter how. Like, I've seen some phenomenal games nobody gives a shit about, and it's like, man, this is really intelligent or like really special. Like that's that. Like the key word is like special. Like this is something incredibly special, and nobody's ever gonna fucking see it. And it's always legal problems, or generally always fucking legal problems, some other fucking bullshit that has nothing to do with the fucking creative process.
See,
now I'm just fucking waffling on.
No, this is the whole point. I'm meant to be. I'm stoking the waffly flames. Flawful's got a really well thought out question I'd like to throw at you.
Could you hold that for a second? Because I gotta piss.
Oh. All right. So we're just gonna wait a sec.
So funny and entertaining for a second.
Oh yeah, totally. Hi. Hello. I've got a stamp. It's lovely to have you all with us. For those of you that might have just joined, I've got Will Stamper on the line, and we're talking about the classic era Newgrounds. We're talking about lessons that we, in kind of the more modern video game internet culture, can kind of take from those halcyon days, and just trade in some cool stories. It's been it's been a heck of a waffle-mancy of a day. I'm just there we go. I am just flitting between a bunch of other things. I do apologise, one and all. So I'm going to have Stamper for a good while. I'm going to be asking questions intermittently, but if you want to charge your questions, we'll do some Q&As definitely later throughout. So it's going to be a day. It's going to be a day, everybody. It's going to be a day. Okay, yeah, that's all sorted. And it should stop making the Discord bleeps in the background. But, DJ, if Discord is bleeping at me, and you've sent me 3 Discord messages telling me that Discord is bleeping, what are you doing? So yeah, Havred and a few other people, and Greenfire apologising for being late. Well, it's lovely for those of you from my lot, it's lovely to have you with. As I said, talking to Will Stamper. If you don't know Will's work, Will worked on the Newgrounds site back in the day and did a ton of flash animations off his own back. He was the voice of Hatty Hattington in Battleblock Theater, which is where most people know him from. And, thank you for the tactical readjust there.
Sorry about that. Oh, fuck, you saw that? Whoops.
I did. The rest of the world didn't, because I was turning off Discord bleeps.
Gotcha.
Right, so before we careen too far out, because Flawful had a really good question, which was, can you ask Stamper what his art journey was like and how it applies to his other creative endeavours like music and everything else?
Well, art's a tough question. I mean, in a lot of ways, like, this is art, right? All that dumb shit you did around the Twitter or the Twitch bezel is art, right? like what is art? You mean like drawing pictures to like animation and?
Let's see if Flo will expand on the question.
I would say that because I started making like really shitty cartoons.
Yeah.
And then like talking to other dudes like Tommy and like Edmund back in the day and all that, like they had other ideas too. I remember back in the day, Tommy was trying to make a game called Jesus Fighter, and I was like, oh, neat, because he was like already into programming.
Oh, Christ, I remember that one.
Yeah, like I wasn't, like I didn't understand the programming side of it, but all that stuff, it like stacks up in your brain. It's like, oh, all this potential here is interesting.
Yeah.
So you make cartoons, you start advancing on your art, but then you start I started getting a little bit arrogant in a sense where I'm trying to make jokes, but I can't find a good voice actor, so I'm just going to start doing my own voices. And then, but I mean, there's plenty of good voice actors out there. So I just started doing my own voices. So then I got used to doing my own voices. And then I couldn't find sound effects for shit that I wanted, like just silly things. So then I started like figuring out how to do that too. And then I couldn't find music for things. And I guess it all kind of tied around animation or like other projects.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, so
probably did, but
the animation drove you forward, and when you needed something, you sat down and worked out how to make it yourself.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. And, it's kind of like that argument I always make about college. It's like, why you want to go someplace and spend fucking 7 years there where you can hop online and learn it in 30 minutes? It's like there's so many things you could just learn by if you cared enough You can just hop online and learn it real quick.
I mean,
Nobody taught me fucking HTML, but I can code a website for you right now in Notepad.
Right now.
Don't test me, bitch. It's like the weakest threat ever.
I will HTML the shit out of this. I'm not even joking. Yeah, I didn't. I did like 6 months of computers in college, and then decided I already knew everything because I was a teenager and therefore smarter than everyone else. So,
what'd you go for?
I initially did like basic computer science, and then was like, nope.
What does computer science cover again?
Oh, but at that level, it's like basic wankery. So we did like Pascal and shit like that, and learn how computers function.
Everybody's saying it's all for the degree, but like, what the fuck does that mean? For a piece of fucking paper? Shouldn't employers know that by now, that it's useless in a lot of cases?
Dude, I hear that. But like I said, I moved to London, got a job, rest is history. But it was kind of cool. I mean, flipping into the fan mindset for a second, it was really cool during that time of having a place like Newgrounds to point to and say like, no, but this is what we can do. Being taught very old formal programming stuff, being in that environment when video games could only be either grim dark white bloke shooting things in the face or a colourful platformer for kids.
Yeah.
And then we can point to this whole sphere and be like, yo, I played a game where we had to launch a fucking hedgehog into outer space, and I played that for like 8 hours.
Yeah, right.
And so I don't mean this to start any beef, because I don't know if there was beef, but did you have any opinion?
Oh, speaking of beef, I just want to let everybody know that all my opinions, man, they don't mean shit. I'm just a dude at the end of the day. Anyways, please continue.
Oh yeah, so that's the official. Yeah, that is the official disclaimer. These are.
I'm gonna speak for you too. I mean, all your fucking opinions, just your opinion. They don't mean shit at the end of the day.
True that. So the competitor in user eyes to Newgrounds was Congregate, and Congregate has been moving into like game publishing, into potentially competing with Steam.
Have they?
Yeah, they've launched it's cartridge, but spelt with K. That's going to be their...
I didn't even know that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember Mortal Kombat. Whoops. I didn't even know those guys still existed.
Yeah, they... So, for those that don't know, Congregate had less kind of like discoverability than Newgrounds and less creativity, but they worked out how to monetize way earlier. And when the like mobile phones hit, they just ported a shit ton of their Flash games over, and it made them a tidy profit. Like, they were basically ready to go when the whole like smartphone revolution hit, and so they've been ticking over on basically on that kind of cash. And yeah, they're looking to actually step into the ring either this year or next year, which is going to be really interesting. And I wondered if like if Newgrounds had looked at Congregate back then, if there had been any opinions like back in the day.
Well, it's tough to say. I think that one of the reasons Congregate exists is because they looked at Newgrounds back then. But I think
that's fair.
I think one of the reasons that not to get too personal or anything, but I don't think he's going to care. But one of the reasons that Newgrounds is kind of falling behind is that Tom is basically a one-man team.
Okay.
He cares a great deal about Newgrounds, and there's a lot of, I wouldn't say trust issues, but you kind of know what I'm getting at, where like we don't want somebody to come in and fuck everything up.
Yes.
Which can be good and bad. Like, there's like a balance you have to have there. But I mean, I swear to God, like Tom, like he spends more time doing shit for the community and like all this paperwork and nonsense all day that he shouldn't have to be doing, while he should be like making games and stuff like that, like being creative. But it's a tough racket on that side. And it's none of my fucking business. I truthfully talking about it, but that's kind of the general gist of it. Like he certainly means well, but he's not gunning for it for in my personal opinion, he's not gunning for it hard for legitimate reasons.
Yeah, and that makes entire
And I mean,
sense.
it still fucking exists.
Yeah, and what was really cool is one of my friendos who does a bunch of like cyberpunky style music and shit like that. Like he hosts a bunch of his tracks up on Newgrounds, and fucking Tom's actually liked a few of his songs.
Oh man, some of those musicians on Newgrounds are fucking bonkers, man. They're so great. I'm so glad they stopped by.
Yeah.
I met a lot of fucking amazing musicians through there.
Man, and the thing is, like, the functionality way better than Bandcamp. I'm just gonna say it.
Bandcamp is kind of butt sometimes.
Yeah, and I can also
Sometimes. I mean, it's still valid, but
if it's helping people make a living, but it's
that's true.
I can also totally understand where Tom's coming from, because one of the things we've seen a lot is these classic
Yeah,
sites.
Paragon X9. There you go. Oh, it's classic sites doing.
Nice. But yeah, I totally get that where Tom's coming from those ones, because we've seen so many like classic sites get rebooted and rebranded, and then they're like dead in a year. Like
That's truth there.
Newgrounds is still kicking, and that is a testament where a lot of other places have keeled over and died. So
Yeah, but is it finding a new audience? Like, what's the turnover like, and how could that improve?
I mean, YouTube should have been the great revolution. Should have been the next stage in freedom between creator and audience. And how they keep stuffing it up, I do not know. They announced. Well, they didn't announce. They let slip that they've changed how people's subscription feeds are working now. So even if you are subscribed to a YouTube channel and you are looking at your subscription feed, you might not see everything that you're subscribed to.
Yeah, I don't follow YouTube all that hard, but I know something's fucked up when 99.9% of the people I know fucking bitching and moaning about it every day.
Yeah, and I know there's a few people in your crew that's their livelihood right there.
Yeah. I remember when that whole what's it called, the advertiser thing happened. Dudes were going down from making like 6 G's a month to making like $200 to $300 a month in like a split second. They're like, uh-oh. They had to go out and find normal day jobs, and now everyone's bitching and moaning because they can't put out content. It's like, yeah, well, I'm working a day job now.
It's carnage, and
shit happens.
Shit does happen. I
You
don't
have to adapt.
And that's what we've seen kind of consistently. Newgrounds was the adaptation from those horrible kind of AOL pre-verified portal link site kind of bollocks.
Sure, right.
It was the thing that someone sent you a link and went like, yo shit, I found this fucking Newgrounds thing. Because it was like, you guys, it was the sect of Homukasu, the Kill Everyone project, and I think it was, what was the other one that did the rounds in our crew? Oh, fucking Steak and Cheese. That was our edgy teen Triforce.
Was that like Milk and Cheese?
Oh, Steak and Cheese was basically like a knockoff of Rotten.com.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and
I remember Rotten.
Yeah.
I remember. You know what? Rotten. It was when I first found out about the internet. I was like, it's like, oh, you could just punch in words and then .com afterwards, and then that was like rotten.com, and then I went there and I saw some shit, boy, that changed my life. I was like, you can do this as a human being in front of other people? That's crazy.
Oh, dude. First time checking Rotten was actually at a library computer. It was the first time I fell for the whole, just check this link, see what you think. It was called The Predator, and that will stay with me until I die.
Okay, well, I'm not going to look at that. I'm a damn full-grown man. I'm sick and tired of watching that shit.
Oh, heck, and Roguelink was just mentioning they used to go to the Stick Figure Death Theater. Bloody hell, there's a sphere of entertainment. The stick figure animations.
That's true. There's that one dude, what was he, like a Chinese dude or something? He was stick figure cartoons that kicked ass.
Was that the
Zhao Zhao?
Creator versus creation bloke?
No, it was another. Yeah, there you go. I think that's how you pronounce it. Zhao Zhao.
Dude, I struggle to pronounce people's English names, so...
That's not an English name. If you watched it again, you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember shit, because everybody watched.
Yeah. The Madness series, holy crap. There was one I was surprised didn't make the jump onto consoles. Because after Alien Homid and then Castle Crashers, I was really surprised that the team behind the Madness series didn't move it over, because they had that 2D action platforming shooting just nailed.
They're working on that now, though.
Are they?
Yeah, Project Nexus.
What the...
It's a Madness game.
What? I'm literally Googling this shit now.
It's Swain and fucking Crinkles, both very nice guys, but...
I've not met Crinkles, but their stuff has made me laugh far too much.
He's a huge guy, and when he gets drunk, he likes to punch people.
Okay, because I can drink like a tank, but I am basically just made of noodles. Like, I am a homunculus made of breadsticks and ham.
What the hell is a homunculus?
It's when you make a person out of pieces.
Oh, cool. I learned something new today.
Yeah. Killing Spree was fucking great. Yeah. Okay. Let's do a meaty one. Let's do a meaty question, because we are in 2018.
I got your meaty question right here, baby. Sorry, my ear is itchy. No, keep going.
Wait, do you mean, are you talking about your ear or your penis? Because I'm really not sure by the implication of your voice.
Well, that's where my other hand is right now. So,
so it's 2018. Nerd culture is now like diverse as hell. We've got everybody kicking around with every gender, every background, every pantheon. We've got them all mission together, but we're really struggling a lot in games to talk about these things, because anytime these topics come up, it's a war zone. There was correct me if I'm wrong, but Columbine RPG was on Newgrounds first, was it?
oh yeah, we got fucked for that one. Well, I don't know if it was on Newgrounds first, but yeah, that was fun.
How did
No, I don't think it was Columbine. It was Virginia Tech.
Was it Virginia Tech?
Yeah, it was one of those school shootings.
And like, that is an incredibly fucked up topic with so many kind of areas, but that
Well, yeah, but then you meet the guy and he's just like completely harmless. It's just like, yeah, I just made this game.
So
anyways, what's the question?
The question was that, as a site, how did you all handle that? Because you basically went from naught to, full on, news media coverage and all of that nonsense.
Well, you take it as it comes, I guess. I remember that's another thing that Tom was always dealing with. Like, he was always either talking to the FBI or something because somebody tried to hack the whole shit and bring everything down, or
Feck.
Some team of lawyers. Like, there's a couple of franchises that they got teams of lawyers. They do not like you fucking with their franchises.
So you mean based on licensed character type stuff?
Yeah. So Charlie Brown, the Smurfs.
Fucking Smurfs.
Yeah, believe it or not, Gears of War.
Oh my god. Okay, I was even thinking about the Quiz of War parody today.
Yeah, I mean, it's and you look at it, it's like completely harmless.
Yeah.
Then like he would catch a shitstorm for that, man. Like a ridiculous. Some ridiculous shitstorm that lasts like weeks upon weeks to figure out. And this one time I was using photos that were copyrighted for something else, but there was a loophole I was using for it, and he got like fined for something ridiculous, like 20 G's or something. And I was like, are you serious right now? From Corbis Images. And they were just for like this little thumbnail like this. As a designer, I was just like, oh, it's just a dude reading a newspaper and shit like that. And they totally fucked him. And I was like, wow, okay. So it was always like stuff like that on the back end while he's trying to make games.
Well, at least we know now why the production cycles are so lengthy.
In fairness, I kind of fucked up on that one, but not really. I mean, I'd defend that to the day I die. I mean, that was bullshit, man. That was complete bullshit. There's lawyers, they always look for things. It's kind of like that Pee Wee's Herman thing that I put out. And it's complete, like any fucking idiot could see that it's a fucking parody, but that company came down on me so hard it fucking crippled my testicle. Can't even use them anymore.
Jesus.
It's like nobody gives a shit about fucking Pee Wee Herman anymore. If anything, I did you a fucking favor.
Was that pre or post him getting caught bashing one out in a cinema?
Oh, dude, that was like, I want to say like well over a decade ago. And who hasn't jacked off in a theater? Fucking get over it. Half those motherfucking lawyers probably beat off in a theater last night.
Oh, but it's interesting because we see topics with much less social bluntness. I'm going to put my British hat on, and we see entire sites get crushed for discussing these topics or for putting content out about them.
What do you think the worst topics are to discuss openly?
I mean, do you mean like in terms of like social discourse or in terms of damage it does to you and your site or your product?
How about both? I'm going to flip the script on you and you have to explain yourself now.
Okay. Well, the real darksiders are anything involving sex. Sex in the video games industry is a minefield. And it's really hard because you can't make any mainstream games that actually talk about sex in a sensible or real manner because you're going in through the fire. You'll be lucky if you come out with just being unable to get certified in certain places.
There's truth there, unless you're established already.
Yeah, then you can kind of challenge it a little bit. But those people, because they're...
Well, then you could throw out like God of War games and stuff, and there's titties and butts all over the place, and nobody gives a shit because he's the God of War.
Yeah, but they won't talk about sex in any real manner, because as soon as you actually are talking about, the logistics of fucking or, the actual human interaction elements there, everyone's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I know we had a dude, like, punch a goat in half, and then the blood splatters all over a bunch of topless temple workers. I'm looking at you again, God of War. Don't think just because you've had a kid, God of War, that I'm forgiving you for all that bollocks you put out on the PS2.
I mean, there's a lot of truth there, though. But yeah, I feel like a lot of that is, the States, man. The States is the fucking worst with that, man. It's like nobody gives a shit. It's like we are so overprotective here with everything that we do for absolutely no reason. From what I heard, Australia is worse.
Oh God, yeah.
On banning games. When the UK is pretty much in the middle, in a sense where, like, you can hang up movie posters with titties on them and kids walk by and nobody gives a shit because they're just titties. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
But then over here, like, everybody's, like, so protected. But, yeah, when I hear about the shit that's going on in Australia sometimes, it's like, man, I don't even want to fucking visit anymore.
Yeah.
So they got to wait, like, 3 years for a re-release of a game that they wanted to play because somebody popped a titty out at some point.
Yeah. And
it's ridiculous.
The amount... Yeah. Also, Australia charges a shit ton for of tax on games and releasing games and stuff like that. So, it's what's infuriating is that it is easier to make a game that doesn't. It's easier to make a game with baps out and horrendous violence than it is to talk about actual fucking. Can you imagine if in oh crap, what was the oh no, it's dropped out of my head. It's the lesbian couple, very young. One of them's got time travel powers. The other one wears a beanie. Oh God, someone will know. Someone will know in chat. It'll pop up in a second.
Emma Watson and that chick from Juno.
Life is Strange.
Oh,
like if there had been a genuine sex scene in Life is Strange, that never would have come out on any platform, and. Yeah. So the reason I brought up the Columbine RPG, the school shooting RPG and things like that is that it was a topic that no one else was talking about at that time. And suddenly, here was a Flash site talking about it in a very real sense. Like, yes, the initial element was a parody, but the conversation around it was real and in your face. And as a kid growing up in the UK, this is shit I had never experienced, never even thought of. And suddenly, the shit's very real. The shit's something that you can relate to and understand. And that's very powerful. Like what you were saying earlier about expression through art type stuff. Like, yes, it was made in RPG Maker, I think, but it caused a genuine conversation to be had, and not wanting to get too much into IRL politics type stuff. Having that conversation again now, would be very powerful.
Beneficial or powerful?
With the current way we communicate online, I don't know if it would be beneficial, but at least it would be happening.
True. I try to limit what I say online. I just try to keep the like pussy jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah. So anyway, let's in that case, let's move on.
Yeah, anyways.
Let's hop and skip. So you joined the Behemoth. Did you join the Behemoth for Castle Crashers, or were you there on Alien Homid?
Oh, no, I was there on Alien Hominy, but I was doing other stuff, like just kind of help, because I just met the guy. So I was kind of there, like helping him test stuff. And I think I tried to build him a website. Didn't really work out very well. I did some early work on Castle Crash. I kind of like slid in to kind of just offer my hand wherever I.
Yeah. So I guess I want to get on to a fun topic now, and this is as much a personal one as one people have asked me to get into.
Okay.
So Battleblock Theater.
Yeah.
Hatty Hattington, the voice work you did on that, like, dude, I was trying to show people the intro to Battleblock. Do you know there are some kids out in somewhere in the Midwest who did the intro as a stage production? Like, the work you did as Hatty, well, as the narrator for Battleblock, absolutely nailed that project. Where did that come from?
Well, thank you so much. I truthfully, when I dig back into my mind, after Castle Crashers, I remember Dan said, he was like, this is a game about this, basically.
Yeah.
And here's my loose idea. And I remember him saying something along the lines of, because me and Dan have really similar senses of humor.
Yeah.
So I pretty much knew what he was getting at. And it was kind of like one of those shots in the dark where I was like, I'm already working for Newgrounds, man. Like, I don't need this fucking job. So I was just like, I just for it. And they were like, perfect. And I was like, okay, well, fuck. There you go. Enjoy. And then it just went on from there. So there wasn't really a direct split between working for Newgrounds and working for the Behemoth, because I would like to say that I still work for both of them. Like, if Tom ever needed something right now, I'd be like, all right, I'll see what I can do.
Very cool.
And vice versa. But yeah, we just kind of faded over because, you know, Newgrounds worked with the Behemoth on Castle Crashers, and then Battleblock Theater kind of slid in, and I was working there, so I just kind of slid over there and started doing both at the same time. And it was seriously like all just based on friendship and just understanding each other. That's a big part, man, just understanding each other. Like, if I was to work with you every day, like, and within the first 15 minutes, like, you're a fucking asshole, it's like, why the hell would I want to work with you? But it's like, oh, I see, we can get along.
Yeah, actually,
we see eye to eye on things.
I've got about 3 hours is my maximum before people realize I'm an asshole, so I've actually got plenty of time. Like, at least 3 hours. That's the biting point.
Was that a threat or admitting that you're an asshole?
More of the latter than the former.
How long's it been?
1 hour and 8 minutes. So
really?
Yeah.
Damn, it felt like 15 minutes. Shit.
I like to think it's because of my wonderful presentation styles.
Well, there you go.
So Dello was saying, people still say, I love this narrator when they talk about it for people who don't know your other work. And that's real true. Like, I said to a lot of people, I got Stamper on the show, and they're like, Stamper? I'm like, there's a Voice of Hatty Hattington. And everyone's like, oh shit, I know that guy.
I'm just a fucking guy, man. I put my pants on one leg at a time, as they say.
Yep. or not at all when the
like
situation...
anybody else in here, man.
Yeah. So I guess going on a fun kind of creative thing. So having basically the narrator frame Battleblock Theater. Where did that idea come from? How did you give that character that voice?
Shit, I couldn't even tell you, man. on both counts, I couldn't even tell you. I think Dan made a mock-up, and he's like, "We want this to be." Oh, you know what? I remember. No, that was for Pit People. He gave me some ideas.
What was the thing for Pit People? If you want to articulate onto that.
Well, he also wanted Pit People to be narrated, but I don't know if people remember that movie Gladiator.
As in Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so there was a character in that movie, and he was like, I forget what his was, but he had like this strawberry blonde curly hair, and he used to go over the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And he used to talk like this, and that was it. like, oh, it's a Coliseum thing, and then we changed all that around. But I feel like we did the same thing for Battleblock too. Remind me not to eat a ton of pasta sauce before a fucking interview because this shit is coming back up. Anyways. And yeah, Gladiator is a pretty good movie.
Yeah, and Dello makes an interesting point that they wonder if you had pitched the same kind of like narration style to a larger studio, would they have gone for it? And I don't know. Like,
you know, there's something that annoys me sometimes is a couple of large studios have approached me for narration work, and they always say, we liked what you did in Pit People. Can you do the same thing for our game? And it's like, I don't like, why would you want a character from another game in your game? Like, he's gonna sound exactly the same. Like, I don't understand that. But they see something there, and they're like, could you do the same? No, we need the same exact, like Battleblock boys. It's like, but why? Like, come on, man, why? Like I said, anybody in this room could do a unique voice for you because they all have unique voices. You have a unique voice.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, there you go. Anybody could fucking do it, man. It's like, oh yeah, could you do the thing again? It's like, why? Why would you cripple your game like that? Because when your game comes out, they're gonna be like, oh, that's that Battleblock. How come he always sounds like the dude from Battleblock? It's just gonna fuck your shit all up.
Yeah, and
that was that, and this is now.
With a lot of those, I feel like they just look at the success, they hear the voice, and they're like, just give us the thing. Not seeing that, having a strong character which ties a whole game together works really well. One of my
there's a lot of people that they missed the point of a game to begin with. A lot of people are trying to skate by on like comedy and story lately, kind of like what you were saying earlier. But they missed the point that the game kind of has to be fun first. Yeah. Which I can't like speak like it's because Battleblock's and Pit People is but
I mean, dude, you worked on them, so we over here on the player's side, like Battleblock was cracking. Actually, I haven't started Pit People. I've been essentially saving it to do it as a stream game, so I still got that to look forward to. But I do know why the bear fell. I know why.
Rock and roll.
And what was interesting is that one of my crew brought up also like Bastion and Darkest Dungeon, other great examples where a narration character has framed it. And dude,
I remember Bastion having fucking amazing audio, and they did that layered soundtrack thing.
Yeah,
where it kept building. It's like, wow, how are you did you ever play Metal Gear Rising?
Yes.
Where they had the soundtrack playing the whole time, and then when you get to a boss, they somehow figured a way to, I still don't know how they did this, but they figured a way to layer the vocal part of it or the harder part towards the end of the boss fight, and it's all seamless.
Yeah.
I still don't know how they did that. It's like like they should have won for that. That shit was fucking crazy.
Shit, that's awesome.
I'm a sucker for audio, man. Like when people do audio in a good way, somebody knows what the hell I'm talking about, man. But that shit is fucking crazy.
Actually, on the subject of audio stuff, have you had a chance to try Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice yet?
No, I have not.
because they use binaural audio in that, and holy fuck.
Is that what they call it?
I don't know if that's not the correct term, then I do apologize one and all. But dude, you're playing as someone who has like genuine schizophrenia, and so you're hearing all the voices in their head, but at different directions around and behind you. And so sometimes
gotcha.
one of them will be whispering right in your ear, and one of them will be further away. Sometimes they're talking to you, sometimes they're talking about you, and it's so good. It's not a happy game.
That's interesting.
Like, that game will not leave you feeling good and happy, but it's an experience.
Well, a lot of games don't.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. They're just experiences, man.
Yeah. The one that always gets me, and I know this is some basic shit, but in Crypt of the Necrodancer, when Danny B's voice kicks in as you get near the shopkeeper, that always gets me.
Who now?
But how?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he's like, because I know. Yeah, working with M's is, what is it called? FL mod, something like that. They're using. Not FL mod. F mod. It's just F mod, and I think that's what they're using.
Okay.
To do like dynamic, like audio. There's a ton of audio stuff you could do with it. So imagine you're on a world map, right?
Yeah.
And you're coming up on a city. And the closer you get to the city, let's say there's a barbarian battle, and then the barbarian battle starts to fade in, so you start to hear it a little more and more the closer you get to the city. So it's both a trigger for you to know that you're going in the right direction,
Yeah.
and that some bad shit is about to happen, so you better prepare yourself, sort of thing.
Oh, that's super cool.
F-mod. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. But if you look into F-mod, it's really fucking. There's like so many things you can do with it. And from what I can understand, you don't really need a whole lot of talent to use it. But if you do know what you're doing, you can do some crazy shit.
That's super cool.
Yeah, like really neat stuff, just like playing with audio.
I mean, audio is one of the spheres of like game creation which I know shit all about. So it's always great hearing these things come together.
On the flip side, I fucking hate games that have shitty audio. You ever been playing a game like Silent Hill? What was that, Downpour? I was playing Silent Hill Downpour, and they were looping this audio in the prison, and it had this gap in it because they couldn't figure out how to loop audio properly, so it was that little gap of silence in between it. So they'd play like 3 minutes of audio, and then it would be a weird jarring gap, and then they'd start the audio all over again because it wasn't seamless like that. That shit pisses me off. I hate it.
Dude, it's not one of those things I like talking about when I'm actually streaming the game, but there's so many times where I've just had to mute either the game audio or the soundtrack or something, and just like sneak another YouTube soundtrack behind it because I'm gonna lose my temper.
If I know for a goddamn fact that they're using sound effects off an audio CD that they got for free off some website because I have the damn same CD.
Yeah, that dragon sound that was in Warcraft 2, I hear that all the fucking time.
Constantly, man. I mean, give me a break. And there's like door sounds that you hear all the time. Not even in games, but in movies and stuff too, because audio dudes jump from this time. And yeah, Wilhelm screams. God damn.
Nothing like. On the one hand, it's a fun little nod, but on the other, as soon as I hear a Wilhelm scream, I'm like, oh, wait, we're doing the movie thing.
Oh, dude, I cut that shit off, man. Fuck that.
So, aside from Rising, are there any other really cool game audio examples that you really love?
In terms of just overall audio, I've been really impressed with the audio in the new God of War. That one's good.
Oh, way cool.
Bayonetta is one of my favorite, not only soundtracks, but they knocked the audio out of the park on that one too. I fucking love Bayonetta for that one. Just in general.
Dude, that whole game, I could fucking wax lyrical on that shit for hours.
Loved it. But then I'm going to have to think about the other ones.
Okay, complete side tangent, but did you see the announcement at E3 for New God of War, where they got someone playing the game and they had a live orchestra play the soundtrack?
No, that's interesting though.
That shit was off the chain. Oh,
I would love to see that. I'll pull that up.
I will do. Bearded Proof brought up Bloodborne. What were your feels on that one?
It was alright. You mean in terms of the game?
In terms of the audio.
Oh, great audio. Yeah.
Right. And I'll pull up the live. If someone else in chat can grab that live audio announcement from E3 2016 Sony press conference. Dude, I don't know why I can remember this shit, but and complete tangent upon tangent. Did you see Devolver Digital's thing from last year? E3.
You asking me?
I am. Did you see that?
No. Is that a developer or what?
You know what? That is one that I will link to you. That's one for later. It's only about 10 minutes, and it is an exercise in madness taken form. It is
Okay.
It is everything that I wish an E3 press conference would be.
Sounds good.
But the reason I bring it up is because it very much
Maybe you should link it to everybody. Oh wait,
boof.
there you go. Cool.
But it has that real kind of like anarchic Newgrounds kind of flavor to it, which I'm really liking Devolver Digital's style on that one. It reminds me of the classic days. Like, they have someone who comes on stage and fires a gun in the air at an E3 press conference. Like, it's yeah. It ends with everyone.
That sounds good.
It ends with everyone screaming. It's cracking.
Yeah, normally E3 it's a little hit and miss. I'll say that much.
Yeah, we're well, over here. We're gonna do like a piss take sports commentary of it, because Twitch let you rebroadcast all the press conferences. So we're gonna pretend it's a sports match and just make shit up for like 3 days, because it's fun and we'll probably be drinking while we do it. So, and Bearded Prof was also mentioning Dark Souls 3, the Farron Legions theme. If you got a chance to do Dark Souls 3 at all.
What's that?
Did you get a chance to play Dark Souls 3?
For a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna open this pit up a little bit whilst we're chatting. So if you've got any questions for Stamper, just do at Viking Blonde or at Stamper from chat so we can see them, and we'll roll into those. You mentioned in the pre-roll you can't go too much into what you're doing at the moment because like NDAs and secret handshakes and whatnot.
Hey, could you do me a favor? I gotta piss real quick.
Oh yeah, okay. We'll stack up some questions while you're doing your thing. See, I get to hang out with you all some more. So you get a few more minutes to cook up some questions for Stamper. And well done, Fish is the first one through the gate. Well done. So, yeah, sorry, my waffle-mancy. What's happened is I've been slugging on this coffee the entire time. Like, I'm out, people, everybody, I'm out. And I want to say a massive thank you again for you all coming out for this one, because I have been really looking forward to getting Stamper in the box and getting into the real meat of stuff. Floorful's asking if he's... I hope he finishes a bit of that cartoon he teased a while back. Oh, I'll have to ask him on that one. I'll have to... Yeah. God. A rather intense morning, one and all, I do tell you. Well, I guess I said waffle-mancy a little bit. So the E3 thing we got going is called the E3 Bowl. And we did it a couple years back where me and my friend just drank a bunch and over 3 days just pretended like each press conference was like a sports match. It was like, oh, Don Matrick's coming out. You remember him from last season where it was Don Matrick with a fat hat trick. We think he's possibly going to be sticking his hand up Crash Bandicoot, but let's see how it goes. And like nonsense like that. We worked out that all you need to do to be a sports commentator is just say right you are to the other person. Right, questions have been cooking. So, I mean,
this beer is killing me. Sorry, it's about my bedtime.
What time is it over there?
2:27 p.m.
That sounds like nap o'clock. So I guess there's going to be the obvious questions, and well done, Shellfish was through the gate first, asking if you're working on any more Flash cartoons for YouTube or things like that.
In terms of Flash cartoons, yeah, I was, but man, it's like so daunting. And then you wonder what the outcome is going to be. See, here's the thing. it's like you think about the goal of what a Flash cartoon is supposed to do. It's
Yeah.
supposed to make people laugh. I mean, does it have to be a cartoon? Like, I was kind of hoping to move more towards maybe music or some live action stuff. I mean, if I'm just trying to make people laugh, I don't have to sit here and waste 9 weeks on a cartoon for a cheap joke. Although I like doing it, and I'd really, but it's a weird balance.
Yeah. DJ's asking, can we have him sing the secret song every time he can't answer a question? No.
Boy, we were fucking wasted that night. That was great.
It makes me happy to know that was a drunken evening, because it's just so wonderfully brilliant. First time you fucking hear that, like, it's one of the
No, it's not. That's what people miss. It was just people being people. It's what people would do in their own house. If I said, "Hey, just make a ridiculous song real quick," they'd open their mouth and do the exact same fucking thing.
But do you think that's perhaps why, yourself, the Behemoth, a lot of the Newgrounds like alumni, that's why so many people have continued to follow, is because it's genuine. With a lot of these big projects, there are teams of brand managers and there are 100 people working on the code. It's things have to be planned and scheduled. That spontaneity, that like genuine silliness. Perhaps would you say that's something that people are craving?
I would say so, yeah, because that's who people are, right?
Robert's
in a sense.
Yeah. Robert's asking where they can go to support you, Stamper.
Nowhere. I don't need support, man. I'm good.
That is the most honest answer. Kestrel's asking, and I'm sure you get this one a lot, which is how you got into voice acting.
Oh, through the cartoons and stuff like that. Actually, before that, I would probably say being the jackass in my group of friends. And you know what? Most of the time when people ask how I got into voice acting, they're the jackass in their group of friends too. They're just always the people that are always saying stuff to try to make people laugh. The only difference is I put a mic in front of my face. That's it.
That's super cool.
I mean, it's the only difference between anybody that wants to be a voice actor or not. I just put a mic in front of my face, and you don't. That's all you have to do. Because everybody has a unique voice, like I said. I mean, like, you might think that people don't need or want you, but everybody has. Look at the people in the chat room. I can't talk like any one of these motherfuckers. Like, that's all them. Like, that's them as human beings. I can't do that. So that's up to them. Like, this is the way I normally talk. Like, I couldn't talk like them if you held a gun to my head. But if you're really into it, then there you go. Get a mic. Put it in front of your face. Of course, you could do weird things like this and talk like a fat guy and blah, blah, blah. But that's just shit you learn over the course of doing things.
Way cool. G Noodle Boy was asking...
Just a thought.
No, it's an excellent one. I've only done one voice acting job. I was a character in a Sonic game, and it was just me being, well, me. It's also really fucking intimidating, being in a silent booth and having to do lines. Like, that shit's scary. No one tells you that.
I'll tell you one thing. I got this thing where I can't record in front of other people, man. I can't do the thing where I'm like in a room with other people and recording together. Like, I get like stage fright.
Wow.
So pretty much everything anybody has ever heard from me, I did it by myself in the shadows.
That's way cool.
Which isn't necessarily bad. I mean, it's like that's just the way I operate, man. It's like I can't like do back and forths with people in person, and I suck shit at reading scripts too.
I hear that. Noodle Boy was asking, I just want to hear Stamper talk about Devil May Cry 3. I've seen him mention it once or twice on Twitter.
Oh, it's one of my favorite games. No, it is my favorite. That is hands down one of the best games that has ever been made, ever, in the history of ever. Devil May Cry 3.
No argument here. That game was cracking.
That's my opinion, and I'm gonna stick to it. So there you go.
In classic Newgrounds fashion, this username's gonna kill me. Whatever. They're asking, what program do you use? In terms of music software.
For making music or for making audio?
So you said for making music specifically.
Give me 2 seconds.
No worries.
Pull your wiener out in the meantime.
Or not. I mean, it's... You know what? Hands above the desk.
All right, here you go. All right, so for audio, I primarily record in Goldwave.
Okay.
I do edits in Audacity sometimes.
Okay.
I make music in FL Studio, and I do the grand majority of my mixing in Acid. But here's a link in case you are genuinely interested. And you can just kind of flip down there and see more detailed reasons as to why I use them.
Way cool. Floorful was just saying, we love your cartoon Stamper, and DJ was adding that live action Stamper, cough, table flip, cough.
Yeah, what about it?
Just a lot of love for live action Stamper.
Oh, well, thank you.
So Tokka Gaming was going back onto an earlier topic, which was saying the legal side of things was a chore. Was there anything in particular that stood out? Like one just screw you paperwork thing that stood out?
Well, NDAs are always a fucking nightmare. You remember THQ, that company THQ?
Oh, God, yeah. They died a death.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I worked for them for a minute. Hold on. I'm trying to NDA myself.
Do you want to move on to the next one?
No. I had to.
Looking at your hand real intense.
I did some stuff for them once, and they sent me an NDA that thick. It was like 115 pages, and it's just like,
fuck.
What are you doing to me right now? Now, that doesn't really fuck the company or me or anything like that. I mean, as far as I know, they didn't tell me to not disclose the document in the NDA. The size of the document, at least. But all that shit, it's like all the legal stuff. And it's like, why can't you just look me in the eyes like a human being and just understand that I don't give a shit about you, man? Like, I'm just doing this for this.
Yeah. I mean,
you need me to design you a logo or do some voices for you. That's cool, man. Like, I'm not out to get you. Yeah. But there's no human element there. And that bothers me a lot. And another one is starting your own company, because I was about to smash the table, but my fucking mic is sitting on it, because starting an LLC is one of the most ruthless fucking things you could possibly do. It is the most nightmarish process from the beginning to the end. So you might as well just be a dude who makes games and just puts them out just by himself. Like, this is just me putting out games. Don't hire people. Don't do anything. Don't start a company. Don't do any of that shit, because it's going to fuck your life all up. For years and years and years and years. I'm still dealing with this shit, man.
I'm sorry, man. And yeah, I definitely second once having to do the business stuff, it's a fucker. But one thing,
dude, it's a pain in even basic business stuff, man. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. The reason why I can't do subscriptions and shit on Twitch is because the US government doesn't believe I exist. So I have been trying to prove my existence for going on 6 months now. So I can pay them taxes. Not so that I can get anything, but so that I'm allowed to pay them taxes.
Right. Have they ever seen your Twitch stream before where your face is right fucking there and I'm pointing at it right now?
Yep. Nope. Clearly I don't exist. But that's another story. Dello's got a fun question. When did you realise that your scream was hilarious? Because they're right. It is hilarious.
My scream?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
The iconic Stamper scream.
Do I have an iconic Stamper scream? I didn't know that. Is there an example?
I don't have an example to hand. So
there you go.
Dello, if you wanna throw another one up on, you absolutely can do. Hang on, I don't know if Tokka's asking me or you. Did you do Hot Pepper Gaming back in the day? The game.
Wait, hold on. No. Hold on.
What's up?
Yes, I am an introverted person, and it is difficult for me to do voice work. And how did I get past it?
Go for it.
Being alone, man. I'm telling you, just recording by myself and just staring at the microphone all alone. And then I turn things in later. I say, here's what I did. Most companies won't allow that, though. So, tough to say. Anyways, Hot Pepper Gaming? No.
So
never did that.
That must have been me. Because I did it back in the day, and it was agony but hilarious. That's another story. I had to...
I'm not trying to pop a jalapeno. Not jalapeno. Arrow. Review a shitty game. I mean, come on, man.
The thing is, the audio cut out.
You're gonna fly me across the country to do that bullshit?
I am not. For the record, everybody, I am not censoring Stamper. I'm not changing anything. For whatever reason, the audio cut out just as you were saying something, so it did make it seem as if you'd said something brilliantly offensive.
Well, I mean, it's not like I'm saying anything important.
I mean, this was the reason why I was so keen to get you on here, is because, like, this shit's repeating itself. You know, internet culture is now just culture, and so the lessons we learned back when it was, like, us just being online, it now applies to everybody. You know? The stuff that you have gone through, the stuff that you were a part of, and the stuff that you brought, that...
It's getting to be that way, yeah.
Those lessons are valid as shit, dude. And... like, the stuff that you've got to say is as important as any of the game designers or creatives or numpties that come on here. So
you don't want to talk to some other game designers. Boy, I tell you what, man. They're the most intolerable people on the face of the planet. Like, Jesus. Especially programmers. Like, oh, my God, dude.
Wait, I think there's a few video game professionals you haven't gone after. If you wanna take a pop at QA, I think you've got the full set.
Quality assurance?
Yeah, those poor buggers.
Wait, what am I?
I was just being a silly bugger. So jumping back into chat. Oh, that's a terrible question. I'll ignore that. So I believe that is Jayhez was asking, what has been your favorite project to work on?
Yeah, and hold on. Yes, I do, Prime Ape. I listen to a ton of fucking paranormal podcasts and YouTube channels. I was listening to Dr. Creepin all morning.
Okay.
And then you got Bee Buster, and then you got Unit 522, and then you got what's his name? Mr. X, and then you got those dude. I got a list of those dude. They help me go to sleep. I like them. I like their stories. Anyways, what was the question?
What was your favorite project to work on?
In terms of what?
Let's go video game wise, because that's what we know, yo.
I'd probably say Battleblock. Just because they gave me freedom. They just said, hey, there you go. It was one of those things where they just get out of your way, you know? It's like, you know, it's a trust thing where they're like, I trust you and I trust you. So let him do this while I'm doing this, and that's why it was so good, you know?
Yeah. Dude, that intro, so brilliant.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Dello sent me a link. I'm terrified to open it, so I'm gonna leave that for the moment. And I don't know who Too Sneaky 2P is, but they seem to know you. Oh God, tripping over myself here.
I know Shannon though.
Oh, do you have a cat? Fucking hell, we need to get on that shit.
Yeah, I have a cat. Hold on, I'll go get her. Almost left those on, shit.
Almost. So as I'm seeing a couple of new names, we've got Stamper with us. I think we've got Stamper with us for at least another at least another 20 minutes or so. So if you have any questions, like, throw them in chat. Either throw them to me or throw them to Stamper, and we'll go from there, yo. Oh, Adelo's saying it's the link to the Scream. Ah, yes. Thank you for that, Delo. Delo was linking the... Kitty!
There you go. You have to kiss your cats on the head, man.
Yeah, that's the law. Sorry, whatever else I was saying.
I mean, who doesn't? I mean, that's bullshit.
Monsters. That's who. Delo found the link to the iconic Stamper scream from one of the Sleepy casts.
Oh, did he? Hold on.
As obey silence for the Stamper scream.
Oh man, come on, man. He's like, oh, that's bullshit, dude.
I'm just glad we got a live reenactment. Oh, lordy. Okay, so I'm just waiting for some more questions to pour in. You know what? Completely old.
Yeah, I never said I was a fucking great interviewee, dude.
Dude, it's been great, and like, I don't know how long we've got your time for, but I'm having a cracking time.
This is your job, baby.
Gotta earn that. I gotta earn that pay. Okay, this is a question that I want to know about, and screw everybody else. What happened to the garbage fox?
Oh, he just fucked off one day. That was it.
Okay, that's a much better story than you found him under the back of someone's pickup or something.
Nah, yeah, we were treating him for a while. Like he started coming in, and then we were buddies, and then the other fox came in, and then Jeff came in, and then Jeff was helping me work on the foxes too, and then a few days later they just fucked off. So I'd like to think they just started feeling better, and they just found a better place to live.
Just healthy enough to move on.
Yeah, I guess so. That's what I'd like to think. They're more than likely dead, though. If you want my honest opinion.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know what it's like in the US. Urban foxes in the UK actually have a higher survivability rate because there's more food. Like, they just find a dumpster full of food and they're set for ages.
Oh, they get pissed off here if you start treating foxes nice. They're like, oh, you're letting them into our properties. You're going to start raiding our trash cans. So now you're a fucking monster for trying to help an animal out, man. That thing was fucking pathetic.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Trying to help a teeny tiny fox. And Sneaky Pete's asking when you're ever going to pursue the cooking show you've talked about. I think, that's the hot button issue. Cooking with Stamper.
That would be fun.
When is it happening?
That would be fun. God knows, man. I don't know anything more about cooking than these other dude. Look, Johnny Utah's in here right now. Probably a better cook than I fucking am. Maybe me and him should start a fucking show up.
Boof, done. We'll hype the shit out of it. Cooking with Johnny and Stamper, done. Piece of cake.
There you go. That actually sounds better. Cooking with Johnny and Stamper.
I'd watch that.
And we do that gay little intro with the thing, then we spin it, and then like put our shoulders together like this. And then we fail constantly on all the stuff we're trying to cook. Let me ask you a question. What are you best at cooking?
Ooh. Fuck.
Yeah, got you, buddy. You're gonna sit here and fucking grill me.
That's a mean shit. You could be like anything about video games or like shit. No.
Do it!
What's the best thing I can cook? It's atypically English, but I can do a full roast like a Mother Hubbard. Like potatoes, Yorkshire puddings, vegetables, the whole shebang.
You were such a fucking liar. You don't know how to make Yorkshire puddings, you fucking liar.
No, but fucking Aunt Bessie does, and I get those fuckers out the freezer and they're amazing.
Busted, dude. Busted.
I've been rumbled on Twitch. I don't know how to make Yorkshire puddings. There. You're gonna get my fucking English citizenship taken away.
Do you do it in like a Dutch oven though, or like in a pot? Do you guys use crock pots or not?
The crock pots aren't as common. Also, Dutch ovens are a real thing in the US. They're not just about farting into a bedsheet, and I am still not okay with this.
How do you mean?
A Dutch oven is when you bundle someone up in a duvet and fart in it.
Oh yeah, I always just thought it was like from the Dutch people, and you put it in the oven. But yeah, I guess that's true though. Yeah,
I was around my friend's place.
Sometimes to girlfriends we don't like.
There was a cooking book which was like cooking in a Dutch oven, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Has no one said something?
Good point.
And Beadora's asking if I can make scones. I can't. I can't bake for shit. I've never had any aptitude for baking. I've tried, like even with like those little pre-made cookie packs, and I just, for some reason,
there's a lot of truth there. I just tried to make cornbread the other day, and I was like, dude, I came to terms with the fact that I don't know how to bake for shit, dude. I don't know how to do it. Yeah. I always think it's going to be undercooked, and then it gets overcooked, and then I fuck it up. But whatever.
Can we talk about the fact that cornbread is basically legitimizing having cake with dinner, and that's amazing?
Well, it depends if it's sweet cornbread or the other kind of cornbread. So
wait, there's another kind?
Yeah, there's sweet cornbread and the other kind that's not sweet. And then like the other kind that's not sweet, unless you like the sweet cornbread, you can sprinkle it in the bottom of a bowl and pour chili all over it. It's delicious.
Shit.
Yeah, I know.
So while we wait for more questions to be cooked up from the cooking with Stampy and Jeff. So aside from like occasionally peeking your head into a PAX and stuff, are there many events you do throughout the year?
Nah, not really. I should get out more though. What about you?
Now that I'm not working for a studio, not so much, but I used to do as many PAXs as I could. I do Resd in the UK. Occasionally do Insomnia, which was great. It's basically a 3-day kind of like LAN party piss up. It's called Insomnia because you don't have to have accommodation to attend. You can just buy a table and bring your PC and stay awake for 3 days. It's kind of cool.
Which one do you miss the most?
Probably Resd, because the food was fucking brilliant, and the venue is a converted tobacco dock in London. So it's not like a convention hall where everything's loud as fuck. Each booth is like in a self-contained, almost like shop. So there's like doors in and out. So you can actually have a conversation with people. It's
like an Arabian bazaar then.
Yeah. And each of the little bazaar setups is a different like booth for a different game. And it's real cool. So it means like someone wants to ask you a super in-depth question, you're not yelling into their ear for like 10 minutes. What is the event you've least liked doing the most?
I don't like PAX Boston, man, because I don't like Boston in general. Their food is fucking garbage, and the people are shit too. Yeah, I said it. Dude, all they serve is boiled potatoes and fish that they pull straight out of the sea. It's like, okay. They don't understand what seasoning is in Boston. It pisses me off.
Well, I was only just introduced to the term West Coast, Best Coast, so I'm still learning.
Oh man, fuck the West Coast. I hate this place.
I mean, I'm from another country. I've lived pretty much... Like, I've only started living in the States since December. I was in New Zealand before that, and then in the UK, so...
How's New Zealand?
Imagine, like...
Were you in New Auckland?
I was not in New Auckland. I was South Island, so...
Oh, gotcha.
New Zealand is like a regular kind of like English-American city, but with like a third of the people. It feels like there's been an epidemic, and half the people are missing. It's weird.
Weird but good.
It feels like everyone else has left and no one told you. So, like, the size of the city versus the amount of people in it does not match up.
It's like 28 days later.
Yeah, but with New Zealanders.
Everywhere.
Just everywhere. Right. Oh, Greenfire, I can make my own gravy, but I tend to go with Bisto anyway, because Bisto is the bomb.
I do have some Bisto. It's nice.
Yeah, I use that shit for cooking, like as like a meat, like for thickening up like a meat sauce and stuff like that.
Sir, yes, sir. I put that in my beef stew.
Oh. I see. I thought we were done with the sexy topic conversations, but now we're back onto cooking. I still, PAX Prime is still one of my favorite places to be. Just not necessarily the show floor itself, but just hanging out with everybody, seeing Seattle turn into essentially a hub of nerdery for a few days.
There's truth there. Yeah, I talk shit about Seattle because the people there are dicks, but Prime is good. I like Prime.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good people there.
And Dookie Boyo, one of some of the worst things about Cali
is Duke Boyo, man.
I've done E3, and so LA and around the convention center is as much as I know, but dude, first time I saw the shanty towns in LA was terrifying.
Homeless people, easily. The homeless people out here are fucking bonkers, man.
It's sad, but in the UK we've got the NHS, so a bunch of them all end up looked after. So that's another kettle of monkeys altogether. Okay, so while people are cooking up some better questions than I have, so you said, have you been just crunking on God of War at the moment, or has there been anything else stealing your time when you're not cooking fat beats?
Nah, just masturbation and playing Tomb Raider also.
I mean, you could probably...
I'm super good at masturbation as well.
I mean, that's good to hear. I fell off the competitive scene for a while. I've been thinking about getting back into it, but the competition's very stiff.
Yeah, there's truth there. Yeah, I got it, dude.
Oh, it's fine. I made myself laugh. And my buddy Caffeine's saying, just don't come to Anchorage if you don't like homeless people. I thought that was going to be a joke about fish or potatoes, but there we go.
No, she's talking about homeless Eskimo people. I used to live in Anchorage. Exactly what she's talking about.
What?
I said she's, but whatever.
What's Anchorage like?
It's great. There's a great view of the mountains. Lots of great bars. People get depressed a lot because the summers and nights are bonkers like that. Where, during the winter, it's way too much night, and during the summer, it's way too much daytime, and a lot of people can't sleep during the daytime.
Yeah. Completely random fact, but supposedly there is a higher risk of mental illness and suicide during the summer areas, not during the winter. For some reason, too much sunshine seems to mess people up. I guess it's the sleep deprivation? But,
I'm assuming so, yeah. Most of the people I knew, they put tinfoil in windows to block their house off, they're about to get abducted by aliens.
I need to find pictures of that one.
Well, no, it's true though. They just kind of matted up in their windows so the sun reflects back off their house so they could sleep because it's still sunny at 11 p.m.
One of my few superpowers is I can sleep at any time during the day, so that doesn't worry me.
I used to be able to do that, man. When I was tired, I could do that, but now I can't. I don't know why. I think it's because the sun here bakes my ass. So it's not just the light, but it's the heat as well. It's killing me. I hate it.
Where are you based in the world currently, if you don't mind my asking?
San Diego.
I've never been. I should probably try that.
Yeah, help yourself.
Just dig in.
Yeah, you can take my spot.
Greenfire's asking, what were your opinions on the new Tomb Raider?
I thought it was great. There's a lot to be said about it. It's great. But Tomb Raider is one of the first 3D games I personally remember buying. I remember going to a KB Toys and getting a PlayStation, and I was like, what should I get? To this lady that worked up front, and she was like, oh, you need to get Tomb Raider. That shit is fucking great. And I was like, okay. And it was so weird to go home and put the disc in, and then you could walk in a 3D world.
Yeah.
On a console. It was so weird to me.
One of the other things that I think was really fascinating looking back...
I used to just kill the bitch all the time. I used to climb up a...
Swan dive onto the ground.
Swan dive onto the ground. And I'm like, here it comes. This is going to be great. Hear that little pop.
Dude,
yeah, it's perfect.
Tomb Raider 2, the assault course, leaping to death, locking the butler in the fucking freezer, those were the classics.
That's all. We didn't even do anything logical. We just ran around doing stupid shit. It's like, and they're trying to ban video games. Otherwise, I'd be pushing bitches off the tops of roofs all day.
Just to see how they fall. But okay, joking aside though, like that was for the time AAA game that just gave you a map and was like, go nuts. You know, we're going to give you a little bit of a hint as to what you do, but just like, there might be some dinosaurs, or you might be fucking underground with things trying to kill you. Like,
you know, I was just thinking about that. Let me ask you a question and the chat room a question, right?
Ooh.
So I'm playing God of War.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking this is the most worthless map I've ever seen in a fucking video game in my entire life because it's completely fucking useless. But then I was thinking back to like, what are the most worthless video game maps I've ever seen in the history of video game maps? And the one that immediately sprung to mind was Devil May Cry 2. If you ever played Devil May Cry 2 and you pulled up the map in that game for a Capcom game that makes Resident Evil games, that map is completely inexcusable. So I would like to hear what other people's thoughts are on the worst fucking map in a game ever.
All right, I'm gonna take some flack from the hardcore. I'm gonna say Morrowind because it gave you a physical map. It didn't give you a proper in-game map, and the physical map was fucking useless trying to find where things are. Like unless you had, yeah.
And in God of War, they make me fucking navigate to it like, oh, I have to like play twice to see this bumpy thing that I can't zoom in any further, and I hate that shit.
So Bearded saying Resident Evil 1. Lemon Ski is also saying the DMC2 map sucks.
Dude, that shit is fucking worthless, dude. You have no idea. You need to pull it up and play it. Because what they do is they'll put you in a giant chamber that's got like 19 doors in it, and they won't show you anything. They'll just like glow the chamber in bright red. They're just gonna keep going like this. This is blanket like this. This is the area you're in right now. It's like, how the fuck is that supposed to help me, man?
Yeah. Someone brought up the local maps in Fallout 4, and I will second that because that shit was infuriating.
There's some truth there.
Ooh, the HD collection actually has Devil May Cry 2 in it, so maybe not a thing today, but I'll bring everybody through a run through DMC2 because I think that one gets missed over. Because we all know Devil May Cry 3 is one of the masterworks. And
yeah, without a doubt.
Devil May Cry 1 was very original for its time, and I'm glad we had it. It hasn't aged as well as the others, but 2 gets skipped over a lot. So
for what reason?
Mostly because like 3 was the one that kicked out the doors, and 2.
Wait, no, are you saying that 2 was good?
I'm saying that 2 is important.
2 was not important, dude. That game was fucking useless.
But there's so much we can learn from
Maybe
it.
Story. Well, yeah. Well, I'll give you that. What not to do wrong.
One of the things that I have been doing with the streaming stuff is because all of us fucking work. Like, okay, I don't at the moment, but that's another story. But, like, we don't all have 10 hours to dedicate to a bizarre indie game which has one really good thing buried in a bunch of really terrible game design. But I can play through that and talk it through with people, so we've done a lot of that. We did a stream of Way of the Samurai 3, which was bonkers.
That makes sense. That's fair. That's fair.
So, and it's not necessarily saying that these games are, you know, something that people should run off and play, but it's like, even if they failed, why did they fail? Like, why didn't they... What were they aiming to do, and how did they miss the mark? What can we learn? We do a lot of that.
Okay, so Devil May Cry 2 was aiming to make more money first game, and the second one sucks shit.
But we got Bayonetta in the end, so all's forgiven, right?
Bingo, but that was Platinum Games.
But it was some of the core crew from the old DMC lot, right?
It had to have been, yeah. Most of the crew.
Yeah. I am glad that Nintendo managed to keep Bayonetta 2 alive. I don't know why Sega were banking so much on it doing like AAA numbers, and that's a story for another day, yo.
That's true.
So Floorful and a few people are asking if this recording will be available later on. I will save the VOD private and then I'll send it to Stamper afterwards. And if you're okay with it in the future, I'll put it on the YouTubes or something.
You don't have to fucking do that. Just put it on YouTube. Who gives a shit?
Because, yeah. Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate that.
You're quite welcome.
It's me immediately kind of flitting into my pro mode because I've been like on all sides of it. I've been the wanky corporate bloke. I've been the kind of the plucky indie publisher, and now I'm just a guy in my mate's house using his PC while he's at work to stream video games.
I was curious about those weird wooden beams you got back there. What's that, like bunk beds or something?
Yeah, bunk beds and some bookshelves.
Oh, sweet, dude.
Yeah, I've just bolted a bunch of kit onto his PC in his room, and he's been letting me use that. I was working for another company up until until April, and they got rid of me. And a bunch of people were like, yo, you can't leave these streamed games half finished. So now I'm here, and it's kind of cool. Anyway, this ain't about me. All of these people can hear me waffle the fuck on any other time of the week.
Yeah, well, me too. So,
so aside from the stuff you can't talk about, where do you put yourself these days? Are you still doing the Sleepy Cabin cast? Are you still involved with that crew?
shit. Hold on. Wait. You cut out. What'd you say?
I was asking. So, what are you involved with these days that people could follow? Are you still doing the Sleepy Cabin cast, and things like that?
Yeah, maybe on occasion. I mean, like I'm still on great terms with Mick and all those dudes.
Way cool. So that's definitely something that we can point people towards, because yeah, that was super hacking around. Right.
Are you looking to point people towards things to look forward to? Like God fucking knows.
I mean, there's got to be some good games coming out sometime, right?
Yeah. We'll see what happens, huh?
And at least it's been interesting seeing big franchises like God of War, at least in their stories, take a little bit more of a risk. I mean, turning Kratos, the baps out slayer of deities, into a father figure, is definitely something I was interested in. So, oh, and a better question than that was Greenfire was asking, what do you think about the Kingdom Hearts series?
Phenomenal soundtrack.
Okay. So
that's where I really started getting into learning piano with Kingdom Hearts.
Oh shit. So what instruments you play, dude?
Piano and computer.
I play computer well. Right. So as we've been face mashing this for a couple of hours, I think I'm gonna slowly start bringing this to a close. So I guess as closing thoughts, what would you give to this new generation who are going to go through the same challenges that you did at Newgrounds?
Wait, hold on.
Oh, have you got a good one?
No, you're echoing like shit. So I'm hearing everything you said like 3 seconds ago, overlapping the things you're saying now.
Well, either one of those Stella cans was spiked, or it sounds like the Twitch audio is now looping.
Okay, but yeah, I'll figure it out. What'd you say?
Advice to the future generations that are going to go through the same kind of challenges that you had working on Newgrounds.
I am who I am, and we are who we are. There you go.
Well, you know what? That's pretty fucking spot on. No faff, no muss, just to the point, yo. Right. So as this wafflemancy is slowly coming to a close, I'm going to bring the stream down. I might jump on for some more video game stuff later. So, yeah. Oh, and Lemonsky is asking, does the man have hair? I mean, yeah, look at it. Check it out.
Oh, no, not really.
But you do...
It's just cold in here. I live in fucking San Diego and it's cold in my house. How the fuck is that possible? Oh, they got perfect weather. Kiss my ass.
Right, so I want to say a massive thank you to all of you who've come on by, to everyone who's been brilliant. I mean, we talked about some pretty heavy topics earlier and some pretty fun topics, and no one's been an asshole. So I'm very, very thankful for that. We even had Shadbay stick his face in, and I freaked out for a moment there because I was like, oh dear lord. But everyone's been amazing. I can't say enough thank yous, Will, for coming onto the show. Like, it's been cracking talking with you, man. And yeah, if you ever want to mash some video games on the internet, yo, you got an open invite here.
Well, that's always appreciated. Thank you.
Right.
And you know what? I made a new friend too, so that's always cool, right?
I'll take that. So, thank you all so much for coming out. I will pop the VOD of this up on YouTube, or you can watch it on Twitch or what have you. But from me, and from the infamous Stamper himself, thank you all, and good afternoon.